Hey friends, it's about 68 degrees in Tokyo and it's raining and we're gonna go for a run. So let me pop you on my head and we'll get to work. Apparently. Alright, let me pop you up here. Not super excited about today, but I need to clear my head. I got a lot on my mind. So verbally processing with our fun little corner of the internet is probably just what the doctor ordered. Now it's about 5:20 in the morning. We woke up around 4:30. So a good start to the day. Let me open up my little running app here. Now I was on my feet all day yesterday. I was wearing bad shoes, so I'm just gonna approach this a little bit mellow. And one of my hip flexors, yes, one of my hip flexors has been a little tight compared to the other one. So today we're gonna do just a recovery run and we're gonna focus in on form as opposed to speed or distance. Every day is different and I think that's what I need. But also see if I could just snap into good form is the hope. Because that was... I do love Japan and the rain. It has a different smell than the US. Part of it's just there's a lot of different fauna. Is that what you call it? Different flowers and stuff than what I'm used to. And because the homes are like so densely packed together, and like lawn gardens are much more of a thing. Like the streets just smell nice. It's cool. At least where I run. You just feel like you're closer to all these different flowers and things. Now, if you have like a ton of pollen allergies, it's probably awful. So far, form's feeling a little bit okay. I'm already winded, which is weird. But we'll just keep plunking along. This is going to be more of an open-ended run today. I'm just going to kind of do what feels good. Normally I try not to follow my feelings with running, but it depends on the workout. And today I want to make sure that this workout serves me and it helps me recover. Good functional movement, light cardio, help mobilize some stuff. We are not at all interested in pushing and over mobilizing or injuring anything today. Not that that ever really is a desire, but just more specifically we want to really ensure that that doesn't happen. Whew. Here we go, here we go. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, somebody forgot their luggage. No! Main focus, actually, is like contracted core, keeping everything taut, shoulders rolled back. And then finding, I don't want to say the weak links, but just kind of smoothly working into it. So at the end of this, we hopefully feel good and not hurt. And from what I understand, my weak link right now is my left hamstring, not hamstring, hip flexor. is tighter than the right, and I've been working on mobilizing it, but it's affecting or impacting my gait, basically how my footing lands. So trying to get everything kind of in the right place. Trying to keep everything toit like a toiger. Running downhill when it's wet is my most vulnerable movement on runs. It's also a little bit higher impact for me just based on my style of running and some of my like pre-existing conditions. So I have 2 compressed discs in my spine, my L4 and my L5. I've gone through years of physical therapy, a lot of strength and conditioning work to build up core and back strength around it so I can still run safe. But occasionally, if I get into a more hyper flexed space, you know, kind of like overarched like a cat, well, not a cat stretch because that's the opposite, like a cow stretch. If I'm not holding everything taut with good form, I can feel it in my spine. If it gets bad enough and I don't take care of it, it turns into pins and needles down my right leg, which is called sciatica, which is just a joy. But actually that's been regressed pretty well symptom wise. That's in good shape. The river's running high today. It's nice. So when I'm running downhill and it's wet, in order to keep my legs under me, it does kind of put like a micro impacts with my back almost arched. Nothing extreme, but it's like enough I could feel it. It's harder to keep my core taut because I normally lean forward when I tighten my core. Tighten my core and leaning back is a weaker position, I guess. So I get a little looser in the cage. Now, so far, from a recovery perspective, things are feeling nice. I'm gonna walk for a little bit just because it mobilizes things differently. So I'm gonna do a couple deadlifts. We'll do 3 of those. Squeeze. Because again, today is focused purely on form, recovery, what feels good. Let's get a couple squats. My knees don't like me. 2 and 3. Tuck the tailbone, core tight, lean forward, walk. Now when you walk faster with your heel kind of extending past your center of motion or center of gravity, you're going to activate the hamstrings a little bit differently than if you're running with your foot landing under your center of gravity. So it's actually, for me, I don't mind mixing it up between the 2 because you, believe it or not, I'm a little so tired, you use your legs differently when you're running and walking, but also how you're running and walking, how you're landing, how you're moving. It triggers and fires muscles just slightly differently. I mean, the same thing can happen in the gym. If you're doing like a row, depending on if you're sitting on a rowing machine versus bent forward doing rows with 2 dumbbells, or one hand on a bench doing a single arm row, or putting the bench at an incline and doing a row. All of those little adjustments build up your wings, your backs slightly differently. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna do 3 deadlifts. I'm gonna do single leg deadlifts. So I'm trying to work on symmetry here. I'm gonna use this for a little bit of support. Slow, kick it up, slow. So right here at the up, that's where the stretch is happening. That's where I'm a little bit tight. 3, let's go 4, 5. So it's just like a normal deadlift. I'm just doing it on one leg. The other side will have its own problems. I have less balance on the right side. I have all kinds of injuries and problems. But I've found ways to work through them, alongside them, around them, depending on the context, so that every day I get stronger, more put together, more bulletproof, maybe bullet resistant. Got a tight back today. We'll walk out to that pole, and then I'm gonna see if I could trottle a little bit more. It just means jog. What I'm trying to do is keep core tight, back engaged, find good form. I like to set myself up to be able to get a long run in next week. So it means good recovery today. Now, my life's been kind of all over the map. Monday, I had to put in my 6 weeks notice, which is a little unique, at Johnson & Johnson, after working there for a decade. Not out of malice intent or anger or anything like that. A lot of it really is circumstantial, which is unfortunate, but there's some things that you can't control. And my assignment here ends June 30th, which is in about 6 weeks. And I was offered a role back in the States, but it was in a different state than we came from. And that state was about 14 hours from family by car. And right now we live about 14 hours from family by plane, which is a little more expensive, but it's the same time. And our family relocated 12 times to get to Japan. And I couldn't submit to destabilizing them again on behalf of a corporate entity, even though it's an entity I care about and I've served for 10 years in a wide range of capacities. Walking feels like the right thing to do today, by the way. So hard, big, scary decision as we are staying in Japan. I am currently in the application process for another job that I think is supposed to be posted this week within Johnson & Johnson. So there's still a chance, but because I needed to share a decision on whether or not I was repatriating, which means going back to the US, part of that decision was indicating that, hey, we still hope to secure this role. We still hope to stay in J&J in Japan. That said, right, there's like the nuance. That said, we're not taking the return path in the event that doesn't work out, or the job becomes withdrawn or unfunded, or they interview additional candidates, and even though I've had 4 interviews and they know the circumstance, someone becomes a better fit than me. Like, all those things could happen. So it's really kind of a crazy moment of betting on ourselves in this season of life and our ability to make things work out here. The biggest thing I'm trying to navigate right now is visa logistics. J&J covers our visa right now. I need to understand what happens when the assignment ends, how long we have to transition into something else legally before Japan lovingly asks us to leave. So it's a little bit nuanced, a little bit complicated. We just need to make sure that all our ducks are in a row, because I'm not really a fan of getting deported. Not one of my favorite things to do. Alright, so what turned into a run's becoming a nice walk. Nothing wrong with that. we're just trying to listen to our body, and today's focus on rest and recovery. So I'm pulling the cardio and the impact out. I'm just kind of resetting a little bit. Let's get some more deadlifts, more squats. I could add more distance, but I think I might just round it here. Let's see. It is beautiful out because it's not raining, it's like mist raining, which is everyone's favorite. Deadlift. Squat. 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 Let's do some calf raises. Twist. Twist. Let's go see some river. But yeah, so it's a big transition. I would be dishonest if I said I'm not intimidated. I've gotten lots of thumbs up on LinkedIn for my decision-making ability, but I still gotta own the outcomes, right? So we'll see how it's all gonna work out. So we mean well by it. It's again, I kind of shared it, it's an unfortunate transition. It's not how I wanted to leave if I was gonna leave, and the leave is still tentative, but it's decided enough that in parallel I do have to say, like, I'm open to work, I'm open to connecting with other companies where I can provide value, I'm open to exploring even like consulting opportunities and ways that I can mentor and help people take their next step as innovators. Well, isn't this fun today? The river's real high. Normally those rocks are all kind of poking out a little bit more so that I can get out there, but I can't today. Let's go down this way. Right now I'm doing a little bit of stretching as I'm walking, just trying to get everything feeling nice. I'm glad I got a jog in though. And sometimes just to start a run, I have to kind of just go, even if it's not perfect, and then see where things are starting to shape up and fit and make those adjustments. And now I'm finding where the residual sore pieces are, and there's probably some hip openers and stuff I want to do when I get back home on my warm, comfy ground. This ground's a little wet. Now my favorite spot's through that brush, but that's too tall and wet for me, too much adventure. So friends, another thing I like to do on these lives, if you're new here, I come from like a faith-based context. So running for me, it's also kind of spiritual. It's normally a time when I pray and wrestle with God about what to do in my life. That said, I try to make these live streams accessible to people from any spirituality or faith context or lack thereof. So I'm just gonna take like 5-10 minutes of stillness by the water to kind of process through life, rest and reflect, renew vision, all that good stuff. But I like to provide that to people in our community because the internet's loud and it's very swipey, right? We're always moving our brains from one thing to the next too quickly, and it's hard for us to just take pause and reflect and even like feel and process stuff. So I've found that like sharing that exercise for me, but keeping the prayers in my head, is helpful for others to just have a moment. So with that, it's 5:46, so I don't know, I'll start talking again at like 5:55-ish, like 9 minutes. Let me set my phone down. Yeah, I'll put it in my, I'll set it right here. That'll work. Okay, cool. Enjoy, friends. think we're ready. That was pleasant. Yeah, 8 minutes. That's not bad. Hey, there's 3 people here. What? Welcome, friends. I was just taking a little mindful moment by the river, coming from a faith context, doing a little prayer. But hopefully it's as restful for you as it is for me. Welcome to Tokyo. Well, Tokyo's on this side where I live. There's a bridge way down there you can't see because of the fog, and if you cross the river you would be in Kanagawa, which is a different state or prefecture. Kanagawa is home to Kawasaki, so that's where my Costco is. That's also where the motorcycles come from. If you've ever, I was gonna say if you've ever driven one, but the probability that out of the 2 to 3 people watching you actually have a motorcycle and it's a Kawasaki is pretty low. But let me know, maybe you have one. Hey, somebody actually talked. Oh my gosh, it's Eliza. What's up? So nice to see you, friend. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, it's just taking a mindful minute. How's your art going? Felicia's working on art. She's starting a gourmet marshmallow brand called Mama Malo. Because in Japanese it's, I think it's Mashumalo. So it's malo instead of mellow. Mellow is a very hard word to say if you come from a Japanese context. The L's and the R's, my friend, they get all mixed up. And it's an area where like I can look through that with deep empathy, because learning Japanese, it has been an absolute struggle to try to say their R sound correctly, because it's a softer, milder R, L, D kind of sound. It rolls off so subtly, and that I can understand why our R noise is so abrasive in English and hard to learn, because like this is actually from a different context, but I feel like in Japanese, like they position their words on a plate, like they serve them just so gently and respectfully. They're very clean. And in US we just like blurt and over speak. So it's pretty cool. Art is going great. Nice. You got any good commissions you're working on? Anything fun? I forgot, what's your pathway for actually like getting work? Do you do like a lot of craft fairs? Is it friends and family? Because I know you don't post online, so a lot of the like Etsy commission kind of pathways probably aren't possible for you, because if people can't see it then they don't know how to ask, right? Which I totally respect, because you had somebody rip you off or steal your work, I think. Sometimes my memory gets a little twisted. By the way, today we're doing more of a recovery. So I ran a little in the beginning, and then I wanted to pull the impact out, so I progressed into a walk. We have I got attacked by a snake over here once. It's a little exaggerated. I saw a snake and jumped. It didn't really mean me any harm. No commissions yet. Ah, okay, got it. I forgot if you did portrait or nature or something completely different. I'd love to see your work. It'd be cool. I don't know how to see it. I mean, we have a Discord, but if you post it on Discord, it's just like posting anywhere else. Like someone could technically see it and then make a digital print and sell it in their own name. The internet's a wild place. It's almost like one of those things where you just have to like outproduce the thieves. But if you're really putting your heart into something and it takes time, then you can't really do that. I do art. I like posting in DeviantArt time to time. I do post online, just with a bigger watermark. Oh, okay. I've been working on some more stuff. What is DeviantArt? Or DeviantArt? Not Deviant. Deviant art. Is that like the melting clocks dolly? No, that's surrealism. Time to time. Or do you mean you do deviant art from time to time and I just need to figure out what deviant is? But yeah, thanks for going for a walk with me in Japan. Still getting the cardio. Let me jog a little bit. So all I'm doing is working on mechanics, form, rest, and recovery. You've been here for the bad workouts. So this is one of the few times where exercise could be maybe a little bit fun. And then Eliza, are you a full-time artist? Because you said no commissions yet. Are you a student but passionate about art? Are you an art student? That'd be so cool. My sister got an undergraduate in like science, I think. Worked for a while but was always an artist even since high school. Then went to art school in Canada. Learned everything she wanted to learn, dropped out, and now she's doing art full-time online. DeviantArt is an old app. 10 years old. People post art on it? That's so cool. All right, let's get a couple deadlifts. So student, passionate about art. I'm going to be in arts and animation. I'm going to an arts and animation college. Awesome. What is it? Anensei in Japanese. Like ichinensei, first year student. Ninensei, second year student. Sannensei, yonnensei. Daigakuinsei, which I think is graduate student. Or as my daughter likes to say, are you in super college? I graduated from super college, very exciting. Let's do another mini jog. So all I'm doing is like small bursts, focus on a stride, landing, getting the right things taunt, but I don't want to overwork anything. I might have been overtraining a little bit too. Overtraining is just when you're not giving your body enough recovery, particularly with sleep. My sleep has been terrible as we've been in a lot of family transitions all at once. I've been pushing too hard, and because of that, you're more prone to injury when you don't give yourself rest and recovery. You know? And just because you're not rested, you can't keep showing thinking you'll get results, or thinking, I'll just eat some for 3 days, not sleep, that will fix it. It's kind of toxic to slip into. Out. This is a nice little picture. Not an arts and animation school. My local college where they have an art degree. Excellent. Wow, gozaimasu. So are you in high school then? Let's walk a little bit, do some stretching. Forms getting nice. The goal is to leave this feeling good, which isn't always the goal with a workout. I normally like to end a workout hitting my wall, but today has a different goal. Ooh, calf stretch. Gnarly. Wasn't thinking about throwing those in. Oh no. Freddie G, what's up, friend? For once in my life, YouTube chat is actually working while I live stream. My phone is so finicky. Welcome to Tokyo. Today's kind of a rest and recovery run walk day. So I'm just doing some mobility, cardio stuff. This is my favorite ravine they've been doing a whole bunch of tree removal, so eventually it'll open up. But I'm gonna sneak you past that orange gate for a second, unless there's somebody around, just so you can get an idea of it. Hello, Freddie. Freddie's our best friend, in case you didn't know. Good people, Freddie. Very happy you're here. Freddie, if you don't know Eliza, Eliza is wonderful. She does art. She's a student. I have no idea where she lives, but I would guess in American context, just based on our YouTube demographic. Ducks! Ooh, sorry, I've disturbed the peace. So yeah, technically, this area is kind of closed. Yeah, I'm not willing to break the rules that much, so we're not gonna go deeper. But I used to start all my runs here. There's a cool little bridge you can sit on, and that would normally be where I'd kind of rest and reflect. So I built this half marathon program called DadBod, and it started down there, and then halfway through it, they became closed to pedestrians. So I ended up having to take a path crossing a big, ugly street with all this car noise, and it just kind of ruined the vibe. So they're supposed to be making everything safe and good in the nearish future. I'm not supposed to be on this side, but I want it to open all the way up to here, and then we should be in good shape. So they're kind of progressing towards being open, but I don't know when. They've been at it for a year. Just because a couple trees fell down, they're like, oh, I guess it's closed forever. It's probably a budget thing. But thanks for being here, friends. Thanks for joining the channel, or subscribing or hitting bells or whatever. You can join. Nobody's joined yet. No pressure. But you do get to become a part of the Big Brain Club. So I made these badges based on how long people are part of our community. And you progress from like a dead brain to a pretentious brain, and eventually like Frankenstein brain, cyborg brain. They're really cute. I drew them myself, and the wizard brain is my favorite. I think it takes like a year. If you join the channel for like a year, you become a wizard or something like that. But just a way to honor people that are partnering with us as a family. Monday, I had to put in my resignation from Johnson & Johnson. I've been with the company for 10 years of my life, working on different medical innovations and surgical technology in a wide variety of capacities. And basically they had offered us a job back in the US. My assignment ends at the end of June out here. And our family relocated 12 times to get to Japan. And when I looked at the job, it was a great job, great opportunity. But it's based in New Jersey, which is a 14-hour drive from either of our families. And right now we live a 14-hour flight from any of our families. So we just kind of like looked at that and thought about the journey we've taken as a family. And ultimately we decided we were gonna stay and figure it out. So there is a J&J job that I'm still kind of in the application process for, based in Japan. So I want to be very specific and careful with language. Like, I haven't quit, but I'm saying I'm accepting an end date in the event that I don't secure the role. Like, for instance, if they retract the posting, or if another candidate swoops in who does happen to be more qualified than me, even though I've had 4 interviews for the proposed role. So it's, in Japanese we would say, it's mendokusai. It's messy. It's troublesome. So because of all that nuance though, like, I am open to work. I'm open to different opportunities. I'm also exploring how I could provide consulting, both in the social media context, helping people get started as creators, or also in the startup context, how I can help medtech startups get their footing and prioritize the right activities so that they could progress their technology, make sure it's attuned to what people actually need, and it's commercially viable, which means you could like make money off of it. So it's been a busy couple weeks. I mean, honestly, months. Like, me and Felicia have been going through all of the pros and cons of taking the offer, going back to the US, or taking a jump and trying to stay here. There's a whole sea of fears around financial scarcity, keeping our kids in school and being able to afford that, health benefits. Visa status is a big one. We've never left a company while living abroad, and we don't know the immigration impacts to that, how long we can stay as we seek another job or start an enterprise. We're exploring startup visa pathways now through Shibuya. Like, do we just start a company? How do we do that? How do we do that? How to feed our family? Because startups take time. So yeah, there's a whole host of cool things going on right now that I'm working on. Very excited. And we will see. Where we're at is like, well, I don't know what my life looks like in the next 2 months at all. For all I know, some big corporate entity watches on YouTube, here's the story, and they're like, hey, that guy would be great for blah blah blah, and I'll be like, you want to pay me for blah 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 and give me a visa? Okay, I can pause my aspirations and give my kids stability. That'll do. But yeah, kind of crazy, kind of fun. It's unfortunate, but I'm hopeful that it'll work out well for us as a family. By the way, Eliza, if you've said anything besides hello, Freddie, my phone's being really finicky and hateful, so hopefully y'all are talking amongst yourselves. Hopefully the live walking podcast is encouraging. I need to figure out why YouTube always drops my chat halfway through. But I deeply appreciate the engagement, because content creation is another revenue stream that we're legitimately looking at. We're monetized on YouTube. We're working on merch, possibly digital classes. So there's a lot that we're kind of pulling together here in the coming weeks. So if you all could click your little bell, or even just put a 15-minute meeting block on your calendar for the morning or the evening, just to go check out aFamilyFrenzy. There's probably a new short video or a new long video or podcast. Share it with your friends. It's all grassroots stuff, but if people can kind of circle around us as a family, it is possible that content creation is a path as well. It's all crazy. It's funny, as you get older, you kind of learn how to take larger, more calculated risks in ambiguous problem spaces. Like, as you grow in maturity, you just learn how to handle more fog, more uncertainty. And there are some people that are very gifted at shaping fog, kind of creating clarity. There are other people that can live proximal to uncertainty. And I think God has made me as an individual who can become comfortable with being uncomfortable, moving into these pockets of unknown. Like, deepest desire in my heart here, one of them anyway, I just want to provide stability for my kids. And unfortunately, and it's something I didn't choose or understand years ago, stability for my kids requires like pretty large financial success in order to keep them in Japan legally under a visa keep them in their international schooling so that they can learn in their native tongue and stay connected with that friend group. You know, and stability also means me still being home and present. So finding challenging work-life integrations that aren't the norm for the roles that pay that way. So it's pushing me towards entrepreneurship just because that's like the only path, which is a high risk, high reward kind of path, right? Like say I started a startup and it actually works, which already is a unicorn. That's the whole game with startups, is like the venture capitalists are trying to find the one unicorn. It's like you're looking for a home run, not a whole bunch of singles. But in the event it's successful, like there, we're set up, everything's fine. But we're a ways from that, so we'll see. The whole thing's wild. In the meantime, it's gonna take community to keep us here. All right, 1 second. Let me check something. Click that button, let that person pass. He's just off on his morning commute, about to claim the day. But yeah, friends, I'm working on a new series. It'll be called Moving to Japan. I've already filmed the first video. Basically just go like this, packing out our family and verbally processing the entire end-to-end journey. So the first video, what did I do the first video? I think I just moved some stuff and measured a storage unit, and me and Felicia might do a little Lego build at the end of each one, just to make things interesting. So that series will roll out soon. So if you want to see what it's like to move from corporate housing, which J&J has lovingly subsidized for the last 3 years, into a small, authentic Japanese 3 LDK, which means 3 bedroom with a living room, kitchen, and dining room. That'll be on our channel. More podcasts are coming on the channel. I'm trying to roll out at least 1 short a day. So I edited 7 in a batch. So there's a couple new ones out. But yeah, thank you all so much. I will go back and read the comments. My phone broke. So if you hung along, because I noticed there's still people watching, like, thank you so much. It's deeply meaningful. I appreciate you all.